world surrounded by franchises, reboots, and shared universes. An elite team of podcasters will risk body and soul to investigate the depths of intellectual properties, one multiverse, subgenre, and trend at a time. Who are we? We're the IP Squad. Welcome back to the IP Squad, our ongoing investigation into live-action video game adaptations. I'm John Campbell, of course, continuing from last week. He's back again. My partner for this leg of the investigation, Brendan Jones.
Would you say leg or would you say breast?
Well, I have to say breast on this one because there is one point in this movie. I watched the.
If you're talking chicken parts,
yeah.
Which one?
We are talking about was this 2003's? I believe Tomb Raider. I'm sorry, Lara Croft : Tomb Raider - The Cradle of Life. Yeah. They really went all in on it being Lara Croft. Not to because they don't want you to be confused. Is this a different Tomb Raider? No, it's Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
Well, here's what I find interesting about that. He said his voice squeaking like he's 13.
Well, because I saw a pretty lady in a movie.
This did take me back to an earlier time. But,
sure. Oh God, does it? This is so the early 2000s.
I still noticed the nice ladies. I don't anymore.
No.
But here's the thing.
Not since they fixed you.
Speaking of fixed.
Yeah.
This movie finally broke the code and corrected what even the previous one did wrong. They're like, we figured out what the audience wants in a Tomb Raider movie, and that is no tombs, no rating.
Not a tomb. One tomb is rated in this movie right at the start.
Ish.
Let me say it's the closest to a rating of a tomb you're gonna get.
Yes.
It is a secret thing that they go into.
God bless the fact that it does feel the most like a level of the game is like, I have to swim down into a collapse.
That's it. I think that's what I'm reacting to. Is you're like, oh, okay, yeah. Like the movie starts and I went, okay, Tomb Raider, great.
At one point, I can't even remember who says it. It's either her butler guy,
Hillary,
or it's our buddy Jerry. I can't remember.
Jelly.
Yeah, but someone goes, "What is it you want, Lara?" And I just thought, to level up is what I kept thinking.
Well, I will say this movie really kind of a little bit tries to give. Well, I guess about as much as the last movie, a tiny bit of a character.
I do think it regressed to being even less of a Tomb Raider movie. That's my take.
Oh, it definitely regressed. But they tried to give her like the whole thing with Jerry, and you're just like, oh, you think you're getting a character arc, but you're really not. Like you think you're doing something with her, but you're not. This relationship doesn't matter.
I have never been anti-Gerard Butler. I think he's been miscast again.
I think I'm firmly on the pro Gerard Butler side. So
and here he is, young and hungry.
Oh, and doing everything he can to bring life and charisma to this thing.
Charming. He's pretty badass.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
No, his
character is a mistake.
Oh, hugely so.
The twist at the end that they're trying to build to like the big dramatic moment.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty good moment, but you didn't earn it.
No.
And also the thing is that the reason I say his character's a mistake, Lara Croft is your central figure.
Yes.
She should be solving things and doing all this stuff on her own. Turning this into a bantery not rom-com, but kind of like a will and won't they? But
it
shouldn't be a two-hander.
No.
A Lara Croft movie shouldn't.
But also I agree. But also, if you're going to do that, they don't commit enough to it, and like we said, they don't land the moment. Mm-hmm. Now, let me. I don't think this would really matter, but it would give a little bit more setup. The initial idea was for this to be Daniel Craig again.
Again, oh yeah,
Yeah, they
because
offered
then
it to
would
him.
feel like a continuance.
That would have been something,
and especially if they kept that ending, that would be hardcore.
Yeah, I mean,
wow, he's actually a
but
legacy
Daniel
character.
Craig, I think, was like, no. Like, Daniel Craig's career was starting to heat up at this point, and I think he was like...
Also, here's the thing. We failed Angelina Jolie.
Oh, we talked about this last...
They all did, and it's the same here.
Yep.
By the way, remember how I said I'd seen them both?
Yeah.
When I started watching this, I realized... Because it was on cable when I saw it years ago.
Yeah.
I stopped about 20 minutes in. The rest of the movie, I was like, oh, no, I've never seen this. And it was because I think I just gave up on it. I was like, this isn't good.
I can't blame you.
The ending, I was like, what?
I don't. Oh. I wasn't sure if I'd seen it. I've come down to, I don't think I did. I think I saw some kind of look on TV.
Before they ever got to Africa and Jimon Honshu.
Because I remember seeing like a featurette thing, maybe in a theater before a movie about the wingsuit thing. Because they were so excited about, we're the first movie to do
wingsuits in film.
No, they made a big deal about, we heard about these things called wingsuits, and we knew we had to put them in. I mean, that's very Bondian, right? Where we heard about a thing, and we're going to put it in this movie.
Here's the thing before you even get to Bond Corner.
Yeah.
But it really isn't like a connection. This is just...
There is no one from a Bond movie in this movie.
No. We have the opening, which is a little bit like video game, sort of.
Yep.
The ending is a WTF. I mean, she goes up against supernatural stuff in the games, but that weirdness at the end, you're like, I don't even know from. Yeah. It doesn't feel like the games, but it is something that's totally out there. The middle section is literally them sweaty, trying to do Bond.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to turn Lara Croft. I mean, she's even mocking the fact, like, oh, I have Her Majesty's permission to do a thing. But the whole thing where it's like business dudes, corporate overlord, scientist guy.
Oh, I mean,
deadly
Kieran
virus.
Hines is, I mean, number one. Another one though, where it's like, God, he should be a Bond villain because he's amazing, but he's
game. But there's
there's even less for him to do than Ian Glenn in the last movie, but very Bobo Bond villain.
Yeah, because unlike Ian Glenn in the first movie, who still, while being the bad guy, it's leaning into pulpy stuff with the Illuminati. He still gets to wear an indie fedora and go to exotic locations. But this movie, the middle section is literally Saigon. It's literally shootouts in like an office building.
There is
and I'm like,
infinitely more gunfights in this movie. There is the last movie I talked about how Lara never shot anybody. She shoots like 25 people in this movie.
But even as you say that, your mileage may vary, but back me up on this. And Jan de Bont has done, done some stuff.
Jan de Bont made one of the greatest action movies ever.
Yes,
and photographed another one because he was director of photography on Die Hard.
Sure.
Yeah.
But these are some boring ass action scenes.
And a lot of John Woo imitations.
Yeah.
The lab fight, the big lab gunfight, is just almost shot for shot the lab gunfight in Mission Impossible 2. It's almost the exact same scene.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. I would be the guy who would notice that. But it is like slow motion and glass and stuff. I mean, it's just like, oh my God.
Slow motion, which is random throughout the movie.
And it's not a Jan de Bont thing.
I'm like,
not having, once again, he didn't make enough movies, but like having seen his other work, that was never a thing I associate with him.
Yeah.
He brought that, they talk about, he was the guy who really brought all the handheld grittiness to Die Hard. So.
Yeah. But I will say this. If you folks out there haven't seen this film, and you are sitting to yourself and thinking, I am dying for a movie full of close-up, slow-motion reaction shots from baboons, this is your movie.
The baboon
movie.
Cutaways I was not ready for, and I laughed out loud. It is
me
so
too, because I will give them
out
one,
of nowhere.
And even then, I'll be like, "Well, that was weird."
But then we kept
like 8,
and
10.
The baboons never planned anything. They're just watching the movie.
They're like in that mystical, realm in the mountain thing,
they're
and
like,
they look around.
What are those two up to?
And then they run away when the CG creatures show up. Jesus God, what is this movie?
What are those two
talk
doing?
About your MacGuffins.
Oh yeah,
this is a MacGuffin that just keeps
it's a
on
MacGuffin and a half, man.
It is, because they're like, okay, it's Pandora's box. That I can understand. It makes no sense, but
no. Because Pandora's box is not as conceptually like thing. You know, it's more fable-y, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And yes, exactly. The Ark of the Covenant perhaps was an actual physical structure, and Pandora's box.
At least in concept, you understand its place in the
concept.
story. Yeah, Pandora's box
And
is
so
like
they bend
metaphorical
over, not
almost.
even backwards and then front again.
Yeah.
To explain that somehow Pandora's box is kind of it held the secret of life. It released life, but what stayed inside was anti-life, which somehow, to Kieran Hines, he's like, well, that equals the biggest plague on Earth. I'll get that, and I'll be like the conqueror of Earth.
Can I just say, by the way, it's anti-life, which means a lot to us, as you might imagine, but also, lest we forget, Kieran Hines plays Steppenwolf in Justice League.
That's right. Or
twice now.
He went into a voice booth.
Twice now, this guy has been looking for the anti-life equation.
Yeah, once for himself and once for his daddy man.
Yeah, Daddy Darkseid.
Darkseid. Oh, that would be a good title for.
I'm pitching that right now as a 6-issue miniseries at DC. Daddy Darkseid. Daddy Darkseid. He gets some Moppet orphans. He's like, what do I do?
Well, I just picture him changing Scott Free's diaper.
There you go. Oh, Scott! Ooh,
that stinks. And then he uses his Omega beams to like blast.
Oh, mother of God! Even the powers of Darkseid can't beat a dirty diaper. Anyway, this movie is this movie retroactively made me like the last one more. Not a lot more, but a little bit more. Because it's like the last one at least seemed like something. This really. And this just being 2 years later, they rushed this thing, right? Because there's no script here. There's no script
here. And she is still in.
Of course.
She is still
it's
kind of iconically the character. And you're like, wow, they gave you shit.
I constantly feel bad for her because... Yeah, you're just like, the potential's still there, right? It's like, it's still on the table. It's like... I know that casting made a lot of sense, and
when she has a moment or two, when she's angry about her friends from the very beginning are all wiped out. The father and the two sons get wiped out, and she goes on kind of like a vengeance kick, which is refreshing. Lara Croft, like, I don't care about the treasure. I want to get revenge.
Anything that makes her moderately human.
Yes, and at the end, the whole thing about, no, I mean it, that stays here. And Gerard Butler going, no, man, this is our prize. And that's
very Indiana Jones, which I appreciate. Like, the whole idea about, like, that's a power you shouldn't possess. In fact, no one should possess.
There is not any really good writing in this.
No.
There were some good lines in the first one, but in this one, there's really nothing. But they at least do the capper of, she says, what does she say? It's like, whatever... It has been undiscovered, will be found, or deserves to be whatever. She has a line like that. And at the end, she goes, some things are never meant to be found.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, she realizes that, similar to Indy with the Ark of the Covenant. It's like, no, that needs to be put away. You know, that is too powerful, and it needs to stay.
Or it's the Last Crusade does the thing about let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
And
once again, I mean, it's and I kept watching the movie. I kept thinking about Indiana Jones, and I'm going, it's unfair but unavoidable.
Oh, sure.
One franchise just dominates this genre. It just is what it is.
The weird thing, and I said this about the first one too, is that the things that make Lara Croft unique, and obviously this is before the reboots.
Yep.
The reboots did exactly what I would say, which is you take the things that make her unique and you flesh it out.
Yeah.
And that's how you get something that is an actual story. Because I'm not going to say that the original games, they have decent plots and they get out there too. There's that whole thing with like the doppelganger Lara, the evil. There's all kinds of crazy stuff in those early games. But, you know, you're not watching a movie. You're playing Lara Croft.
Right.
The reboot said, okay, but who is she? And then that's what they went with.
I mean,
they made her unique enough to where you don't think of Indiana Jones constantly.
No, and they went, because what they did there, instead of making her, which is sort of Indiana Jones meets James Bond, they gave her a John McClane. They made her very human and fallible and able to be hurt and, go through like
this thing. They don't have her posing as much in this one, but
a little bit. The ultimate example of this to me is the introduction of Jaimin Hansu, who's horribly wasted in this thing.
Of course.
Horrifically wasted. Because that guy...
But this is also early days for him, too.
He's already done Amistad, though. He's got a little bit of a name.
That's right, yeah.
So, I knew who he was when this was out, but, this is like between Amistad and Blood Diamond, right? He
has some charm.
But it's a thing where that you're like that guy's
Lara
charming
has
enough.
A friend in every continent.
Sure,
she that's just call up and say,
But the thing where he's driving and he's just like, when you come in, she's like, I'm right above you, and she's in the I'm like, God, that's even cockier than Bond, man. That is just so.
That is one thing that is a note that would not happen post the reboots.
Right.
They decided early on, and I get that they want to make her ultra capable because she is the hero.
That's valid. Of course.
But even when playing the games, she is about the thing, about the solving the mysteries, scrambling the codes, finding the thing.
Yeah.
But even in the games, there's not that sense of cockiness. They decided that she needed to be that.
Yeah,
the cool ass 2000s shades.
God, when they both get on motorcycles and both put on the ugliest sunglasses you've ever seen.
And then you also hear the da 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 da.
And then
this also continues the bad soundtrack.
I would say the soundtrack's even worse this time. It's really bad.
I don't mean the band Garbage from the 90s.
Oh, I long for Garbage. Talking about who did a halfway decent Bond song with World's Not Enough. That one's all right.
Yes. Yeah, it's not bad.
No, it's a middle tier. But talk about another the next part of that motorcycle is another example of this. You got Gerard Butler, he's riding his motorcycle, and then what's this? She's riding on the Great Wall of China. Although god-awful CG rendering of it that she's...
I will say, when you say rushed...
Yeah.
Did
effects.
They have a bigger budget?
I think they have about the same amount of money.
About the same.
So they've got. I think they've got a little more this time.
This doesn't.
I've got $95 million as the budget for this one, which is.
I think the temple at the very beginning, the one that's under.
Oh no, sorry. They actually have $20 million less. The 115 was the last one.
I believe.
This is 95, but 95 is still a lot.
But those shadow CG monsters at the end
are awful.
They're garbage.
They look way worse than the monkey things in the last movie.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons they tried to make them sort of intangible. It's like, well, the thing is that they'll disappear and they'll be invisible in parts and they'll fade into... I'm like, But literally they're standing in front of very obvious green screen.
Yep.
That got better as time went on, but really, this is...
But even there are movies... That's always the thing is like, you want to go, oh, well, it was 2003, and then you're like... Yeah, but I have seen other movies in 2003 that did a better job.
Sky Captain?
Around maybe 2004, maybe like the next year. I feel like it's pretty close.
I'm just sitting there
which is asking her to do the same thing, but she's not the main character, and it's a heightened.
She to use what the kids say, she eats. She's
Sky
great in that.
Sky Captain.
She looks amazing, and of course she gets the assignment.
But
she's the awesome side character.
She's only in a couple scenes, and it's inherently a pulp thing, so it makes more sense for her to just be a cartoon, character.
Yeah, where she's like, ready the Hydro Squadron or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's just
like, oh my God.
That's just goofy. I mean that's the thing about these movies that are frustrating, right?
I think when you say goofy, what you mean is perfect.
Well, heightened, right? Yeah, pulpy, right? Is these movies?
Indeed.
But these movies want to have it both ways. They want to be pulpy and they want to be modern and gritty.
It's true,
and that's a problem. Let's talk about. I mean, we mentioned a little bit. But we got to talk about Jerry playing Terry.
That's true. That's true.
I will say, first note of positive for this movie: just let the man be Scottish.
Yeah. And because
I've listened to this guy try to
Britishness.
I've seen so many movies where this guy tries to tamp that thing down, and it just ain't. It doesn't work.
He's not a chameleon.
No.
He's not able to really.
No.
Thanks to you, I've watched plenty of things fall.
Yeah.
Man, Olympus fell.
Yeah. London fell. Then he
oh,
fell.
man.
That one, the third one is Angel has fallen.
Which we haven't seen yet, right?
No, yeah, no, we're still so yeah. Make sure you're a patron so you can listen to that. Yeah, we still need to record.
To my reaction.
Yeah, listen to your reaction of. A lot of it did become us going, "Ooh, he sounded Scottish on that one."
Yeah, the thing is
but
that he's
when you
doing
when you let him just be Scottish like this, you are going like we talked. This is nobody really knows this guy. He has yet to play the Phantom at this point. You know, he is. You can feel
he is very fit.
He is
handsome.
Very handsome.
He is very charming.
And he is champing at the bit, right? To be like, I'm a movie star. Look at this guy.
That's the thing is he's trying to inject. I always say that because what's on the page, I have not read the screenplay, but I watched the movie. Yeah. What's on the page is nothing for him to work.
Oh, he has been Dracula, though. He is coming off of being Dracula. Lest we forget.
Jesus. Lest we forget.
I would not say anyone would blame him inherently for that, though. No one would have been. Jesus. He's a weird choice, but also that's a bad movie.
Did you notice that too? That it was a bad movie?
I did. Do you want to talk about the fact, though, that speaking of Dracula, the two guys with story credit on this are kind of heavy hitters?
I did not even look. Who were they?
Story credit by James V. Hart and Stephen E. D'Souza. Story by, not screenplay by.
Yeah.
And those guys...
Didn't Hart do the last one too?
No, I think I was talking about that he had a credit on this one.
Oh, that he had the credit on this, yeah.
So at some point, Hart and D'Souza, who are, big name Hollywood script doctors, and especially in like big genre stuff, I
would say D'Souza, no offense to him though, he's one of those, even at this point, he was an older dude.
Yeah.
And you can certainly say he did do some amazing stuff.
Well, I mean, this is the guy who wrote Die Hard. I mean,
Yes.
He wrote 48 Hours, Commando, a lot of the big 80s
Well,
action.
I would say Commando's not a great...
Well, you and I would have to disagree on that one because Commando rules.
It's fun.
It's super fun, as is Ricochet, which is another movie he wrote that I like a lot.
Ricochet! It's not the end of the world! David Bowie.
Lithgow alone makes that movie worth it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes it is just about... They get lucky having the really awesome... actors in it.
Yeah, but I'm saying, these two guys, though, are, way more competent than what we saw on screen.
I do wonder exactly just how much actual story, because
it's always like, what is in there that got them that credit?
I mean,
were they just
probably just
Pandora's box?
He called them up and went, Pandora's box?
Yeah,
they haven't done that.
Yeah.
Okay, good luck.
Well, because I will say there is sort of a thing, right, where because you're playing in the Indiana Jones thing, you are going like, what did Indiana Jones not do?
Yeah.
He never did Pandora's box. You're like, because what is Pandora's box?
What's the thing?
I don't think that even probably came up in a Lucas story meeting. What would that be?
Speaking of which, in the Tesla Broadcasting Company script that we did for the Wraith.
Oh yeah.
What I love is when you look at something that someone was writing back in the 40s, and they came up with using Cuchullin's spear. The Guy Bolg, and you're sitting there going, why hasn't one of these treasure hunter things done that? Because that's an awesome weapon that if you throw it, it has to kill.
Well, and that's the thing is, actually, this movie should have done something like that because you can comprehend that. This movie, even when they get it,
it's all jibber jabber.
It's all jibber jabber, and so was the last movie. But the last movie made a modicum of sense. Here, I never really. It was like the whole thing is like, it's anti-life. So you're like, okay, I never got though. Is this apocalyptic? Is it a targeted device?
Alexander the Great.
Yep.
Came into possession of the box, the Pandora's box that contains a power that's terrible. It is anti-life.
The titular Cradle of Life, right?
Yes, it gave us life, but it's also holding anti-life, and that was, and that's very metaphorical and weird. Then he holds it in a hidden temple, which ends up sinking due to an earthquake. By the way, I love a movie that opens with I'm supposed to be happy for these rich assholes that cause a cause a an avalanche with their
Yeah.
party music. But anyway, um,
That is one bumpin' wedding, man.
the bumping wedding. But anyway, so it's down there, and
Yeah.
then in order to no, it's not down there. The key to it is down there.
Yes.
The orb. It's an Jesus Christ, an orb similar to something that she chased in the first movie, like the Eye of the Duh, and this is also called an eye.
Oh,
But
and
it has,
we're all thinking the Staff of Ra again.
yes, the orb is a map.
Yeah.
How do we unlock the map? We'll have to get a 3D rendering of it all the way around, and we have to find a medallion that's a key that has music, has
Oh God.
waveforms on it.
By the way, what a
because the
bad
orb-
screenwriting technique or like story point of a huge part of it is we have to scan this thing. That's not even remotely exciting.
Also, I mean that's just because she loses the thing and she only has partial, and she's like, we don't even need the actual orb as long as we have
the battle over can we get this thing while it's before it's now 92% deciphered and
yes, and
we're looking at computer screens. What are we doing?
You play music at it, the right music that's on the medallion, and that's when you get, and they never bother to say who made this thing back in the day, whether it was gods or whatever, but you get a full-on holographic.
I think.
Oh God, talk about a laugh moment when she gets encapsulated with that wraparound holographic screen, and then just watches a Discovery Channel documentary about Africa.
Yep.
And here's where I'm sitting there going like, okay, this is far cheesier than anything that I've ever seen in one of these movies. Even like Relic Hunter with Tia Carrera never went this cheese boat.
No.
And also, I'll say this: Cradle of Life.
Yeah.
Very often referred to. Africa has been referred to as the Cradle of Life. So here's the thing: why all that stress about finding the map? If you're going to the Cradle of Life, you go to Africa.
I mean, and she's like, oh,
full stop.
It's in Africa.
She's like, oh, that's Kilimanjaro. Oh, it's Africa.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus
I know,
Christ.
she's even dumber in this movie. Like,
yeah,
especially for being, she's supposed to be.
They made her action hero, but she's just not as, she has her guys do all the research.
Yeah.
Read all those books. I don't have time.
And actually,
I'm going on my revenge
they have
kick.
even less to do in this one, too. Hillary and Bryce are just there to give some exposition and then get kidnapped at the end.
Yeah, they're the damsels in distress. And I don't find that offensive. I'm like, sure, why not?
I also, another moment where
comedy.
She's kind of dumb is when she's making Noah Taylor play the piece of music, and he's like, I don't know if now is a good time to do that.
Like not picking up on, he seems weirdly under a lot of
and then,
strain.
Of course,
I wonder if she's...
The camera pulls out, and there's Kieran Hines going,
with a gun to his head.
Now I know it's in Africa, too, even though... I guess that makes me pretty
so stupid, John. The whole thing.
It's very dumb.
I will say this: the Elton John song, and with all the animals grouped around, was beautiful.
Brendan, did you accidentally switch over to
Cradle of Life? That was really good.
You did accidentally switch over to Disney Plus at some point during this. We're watching Mufasa.
I kept thinking that the whole movie too, because I was like, it's in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
When they lift
don't let us away when it's doing the all the
Gerry Butler.
Yeah, hi. All the animals bow down to Gerry Butler. That's me. It's Jelly. Hey man, he's fighting dragons over in the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. So that's his thing.
Wait,
now.
Is he doing it live action or
he is the rare person who did the voice and is playing it in live action now.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean because it was already a Gerard Butler character. It was sort of like, well, I mean, obviously.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I do want to bring up the name Dean Jorgaris, who is the credited.
You bring this name up every single.
It's another Jorgaris episode. No, this is another guy. This is the guy who's credited with the screenplay on this. This is his, believe it or not, first credit. So first time getting a credit on a movie, at least.
I will say, I mean, starting with a big budget franchise movie.
Well, he had 2 movies come out in 2003. The other one was the Ben Affleck sci-fi thriller Paycheck. Anyone?
Well,
Anyone?
I had hopes because
Anyone?
isn't that one based on a Philip K. Dick?
It sure
story?
is. It sure is.
Yeah,
And I remember it not being like god awful, but just non-exist. Like that movie doesn't exist.
Yeah,
It just didn't.
You'd be hard pressed to find people going like, "God, did you ever see that?"
It's
that's so awesome.
directed by John Woo.
Damn.
Yeah, it's Affleck, Uma Thurman, Aaron Eckhart, Giamatti. Why is that not good? That should have been good.
That is, that's a killer.
This guy though, definitely big in my world, is the writer of both Jason Statham Meg movies.
Oh,
But those,
no, really?
the thing about those is those are
That's
just
not an upgrade.
no, but those are
Yeah,
just
those are
openly
high budget
silly.
sci-fi channel movies.
Yeah, that's the thing. Those are nonsense. Big budget B movies.
Some of the most fun episodes of We Hate Movies or How Did This Get Made are about the Megs. So
and I saw both of them in the theater and had a lot of fun.
You know what I like is that you are unabashed. You will just come out and say, "Oh no, I saw that." And
Well, I wasn't alone. Those were big hits. Those were packed theaters. I have been on the record talking like this movie. If it's Butler, Statham, or Neeson, I'm there opening weekend. No question.
Wow.
Those are my guys.
The first Neeson I will see on opening day in possibly 20 plus years will be Naked Gun. The trailer looks very
shockingly good, right? Looks really
I'm
funny.
ready.
Yeah, I can't wait. Anyway, we also have in this movie Til Schweiger.
Oh, the Til Schweiger?
Til Schweiger, who is the Kieran Hines' main henchman, who people may remember as Hugo Stiglitz in Inglourious Bastards.
Maybe.
No?
Maybe.
I mean, Hugo Stiglitz is an awesome, because he's the German who's killing Nazis that they then break out of prison to join their group. Nothing?
Okay.
Yeah.
I am vaguely recalling.
Yeah, I've seen that movie like 10 times.
I literally have
so.
only watched Inglourious Bastards twice.
Yeah, I don't want to start anything about it, but I've seen it like 10 times.
No, I got you.
Yeah, and he also was just recently the main villain. Oh, you did see this in Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. He's the main Nazi bad guy in that, which is great.
Yeah. He's good at playing assholes.
I mean, it's one of those unfortunate things where he is a German guy, so he comes to America. They're like, perfect. We have 4 World War II movies. We need you to be the Nazi.
Are you okay playing Nazis? He goes, did you read my resume?
Yeah. I'm actually like a classically trained. They're like, no, you're like a guy with sharp features and a German accent. Sorry, buddy. I hate to break it to you. He has nothing to do in this movie. He's just there to be a big, muscular, intimidating guy.
And at some point, he will be. Everyone's fodder.
Yeah.
If you're not the main bad guy, you're introduced, and then you will die. That's basically it.
I don't even remember how he dies. I think he just gets shot by Gerard Butler.
Oh, great. That was worth it.
Because I think we were talking about Laura shoots a lot of people in this movie, but I think Butler might shoot just as many, if not at a certain point. He's just got a rifle and is picking dudes off.
Yeah.
I mean, it is almost like I was shocked actually. When he dies at the end of the movie.
You're very sensitive. You were like, oh, too much shooting.
Yeah,
Stop
I can't. People being shot really just, I can't. I can't handle it.
Get over that.
Yeah, guns in movies, never.
Grow up.
I will say this movie might have come around to being the opposite thing, where she is shooting so few bullets before reloading, because I think they figured out in the last movie it's cool to see those guns reload. And I'm going, she fired 3 shots. Why is she unless she's doing a tactical reload, which she's not doing by any sense of the imagination, because the guns
Have
are
you been
locking
waiting
back.
This entire podcast to say tactical reload? It feels like you were just like, is it time?
I love the
Do I
idea.
get to say it now?
Yeah. Tactical reloads are a military thing, but she's not, because we see the gun, the slides lock back as if the round, the chamber's empty. Yeah, but that's the thing about it that
this Lara Croft is not using whips, bows and arrows.
She doesn't use
similar to the first one, but it is just like,
and it
bang,
makes
bang,
it
bang,
it
bang,
makes
bang,
it.
bang, 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 bang.
I love a gunfight maybe more than any movie audience member. But even I became bored with like, what? Okay, she just shot 10 more people. Who like it? It just was like, and like we're saying, even though Well, I wouldn't say that's what DeBont was ever good at, was like, once again, that's a John Woo thing, the ballets of gunfire and stuff like that. So
he doesn't have a known take on it.
I will say also one of the big things because you think about like he's kind of a tension guy or big spectacle, the bus jumping the thing, the cow going by in Twister. He has these big iconic images, which he tried in Speed 2 with his boat going into the dock. It's just nobody cared, but that's in the realm of DeBont. This is, by the way...
You promised me you wouldn't bring up Speed 2. You said, no, we won't. We'll skip over.
Future episode, by the way, we have talked about a season that's great movie, bad sequel as a season of the IP Squad. Yeah. Great, series of movies done in by their bad sequels.
I think, sadly, that would never end also because famously, good sequels are few and far between.
I think... up to a point, right? I think Hollywood has gotten better at sequels. The problem is always stuff like Speed, where it's surprise hits, where there really isn't room for a sequel, and they're like, we need another one. You're like, there's no sequel to.
So we're gonna do Rocky Horror Picture Show and then Shock Treatment.
Yeah, actually, kind of, yeah. But DeBont, by the way, the thing I was gonna bring up about DeBont, this is his last directing credit to this day.
Yeah, you said that last time. I didn't know that.
And basically, the quote I read from him was like,
go out, my friend.
Well, the quote I read from him was like, he had such a horrible experience on this and dealing with the studio that he was just like, it's not worth it. Life is too short to keep making these things. Because he is coming off of the last three, he starts with Speed, directorial debut, then Twister, both big hits, Speed 2, The Haunting, which is, I think, really the low point. The Haunting is god-awful.
The Haunting, the only thing I liked about it is that was a date I had with a lady I was very much in love with.
Oh, wow.
We both hated the movie.
That's good.
But,
that's actually a good sign.
Yeah. So that was in its own...
Jesus, I remember being really excited about that movie, and then like, oosh.
Yeah.
But
don't ever make that noise again, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah. That's a movie that I can only review with the sound effect. It's that bad.
Yeah, it was garbage.
Despite the fact, once again, that's my man Liam. And the original's so good.
The original is so damn good.
It's so good. No, yeah, it's rough. And then we'd get 13 Ghosts a little while after that. House on Haunted. Yeah. That's what that whole run of. Anyway,
they tried, didn't they? They tried.
They did, and it's
William Castle.
But it's a real thing where you go like, God damn. As schlocky as some of the Haunting wasn't schlocky. Haunting was high class. Of that group.
Oh, the original.
Yeah, the original.
Absolutely. Because that's not William Castle.
No, that's Robert Wise' film. Great movie. Great movie. But very different. But the thing, yeah. So he basically had this run of 3 things that blew up in his face, and he was just like, "Fuck it, I don't need it. I don't need this." And
I actually respect
I have huge respect for that. Where he's just like, it is not worth putting myself through years of this to come out with movies that I don't like, that no one likes,
Yeah.
He just got burnt out.
I think other people have kind of done that. Some people just bow out of the industry altogether because they're like, what is the freaking point? And life is too short.
He still occasionally produces stuff sometimes. DeBont. He produced Minority Report, which is an amazing movie. So.
It's weird that Jan DeBont would have any fingerprint on something that was a Spielberg. But
something that may have been the case of he had that material, because that's also a Philip K. Dick short story.
So he may have been like,
that would be my guess as to why it was like he had bought the rights to that, and then Spielberg got the rights from him, but he stayed on. That stuff happens all the time.
That's using the old noodle there, John.
This one does do. We mentioned the MI6 aspect of it, which makes it very Bond, but it also makes it very Indiana Jones, when the government comes through and goes,
yes,
we hear there's a terrible villain who's trying to get his hands on trouble.
It will kill millions, and we can't make heads or tails of this mythology bullshit. You know about this stuff.
But then she doesn't. That's the thing, right? That's frustrating. It's like, they've come to her, you're the greatest expert on this, except for she doesn't seem to know anything. Oh my God. Also, talk about another needlessly cool thing when she throws that knife into the bookcase and she's like, do the reading, and then the books break apart, leaving just one, and she's like, start with that
Start there.
And like, fuck off.
Well, it's a cool bit.
Well, but the thing is, it's one of 8 cool bits that are all just, if she did 1 or 2 of these things, it would be like cool. But she's nonstop.
She is nonstop, and it's the damn movie's fault. Instead of making her, like we've said, relatable to some degree. We want her to be a superhero to some degree. But superheroes bleed and sweat and have problems.
Yeah, well, this is making the mistake that bad superhero movies make.
Yes, she is infallible.
Yeah,
and I mean, yes, but the people who pay for it are always like the friends, and even Indiana Jones does the same thing. It's like, because of the life I lead, people I'm close to are going to suffer and die. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, well, that's pretty grim, but at least it feels like it has an impact in something like, Dial of Destiny. When you have Antonio Banderas' character, you feel it. You're like, oh God, they killed him off?
Yeah.
That's terrible. And Indy is impacted. Here, Lara has that brief moment of how dare they kill my friends, and then she's like, well, off to meet with an old lover who's in a Russian prison.
Oh God! And he's doing the pull-ups hanging from the bars.
He is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, Lady Croft.
I will
and
say,
like, oh,
as somebody
didn't we used to bang?
And shouldn't we? Oh God, that sexy scene where she's in a towel and he's. But it's. I mean, they're two very attractive people, but there's no heat. You can't just go like, huh? Because I'm just going I'm not
have the context.
No.
And there's, just like with Daniel Craig, the tease of, did you ever really love me? It's like, when did you guys know each other? We have no idea what you're talking about.
Apparently, according to trivia, there was more sassy stuff between them that they cut out because they were afraid of getting an R rating.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And once again, we will have to talk about that they had huge amounts of trouble with makeup covering Angelina Jolie's tattoos, especially in the opening sequence when she's on the jet ski in the water and stuff like that. And she's in a bikini, and they're like, we're in water. Everything's, all the tattoos are showing.
Why did you have to get the tats?
So I'm not... I don't like the movie enough to go back to this, but I would be... Apparently... It is very clear that they hide her left arm a lot in that scene.
Oh, I did not.
Like, they're always shooting her from the right side because the big tattoo on her arm is on the left arm. Tattoo. Yeah, and so apparently that's the thing. I will say, I watched this with my sister because she was over when I was watching it.
That's okay.
But I will say...
You're not saying it was a bad thing. Okay, all right.
No, she didn't like it. She was like, I hate this movie. I hate this character so much in this movie.
Yeah.
But she did talk about when she steps onto the boat, she just goes... She got on that boat boobs first. Like, that clearly was the direction. That's clearly what it said in the script. Laura boards the boat boobs first.
I'm going to be reprehensible for having this.
Get ready, folks.
They put her in that wetsuit, which is what's on the poster.
Yeah, I was actually shocked
that wears for this.
It's right away. It's like in the first 10 minutes of the movie, and then it's gone. But that was the whole marketing campaign.
And she, again, never does iconic Lara Croft cosplay in it, But
not even the version from the first movie.
When she's in that wetsuit, all I could think is, must be cold.
Yeah. Well, and she's not wearing. There's no
about letting you know. It's
a big
cold,
Angelina Jolie thing. No padding in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining because I'm a heterosexual male who is attracted to this lady.
I do.
Film.
She's a very beautiful woman, but I will say I do have a thing, not just with like sexy stuff in movies, but with emotional stuff in movies. When they're like slamming it in my face, I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah, when it's it's so clearly blatant.
Yeah,
and they're
I roll my eyes, even if I go, she's a very beautiful woman. I'm still going like, okay, movie, come on.
Yeah, you can hear the cha-ching, and that's
never
a good
or lack of cha-ching, which we'll get to later. Because there's a reason there's not a third one of these. Yeah,
what?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You would think a soundtrack with all those Elton John songs would have really propelled such
the
a thing.
Soundtrack sold huge. The movie, no. Yeah.
I love the idea that I'll just keep getting Lara Croft mixed up
with the Lion King.
Yeah.
when
she got all that information from that macaw.
Yeah. When she and Jerry Butler are making out and they're saying, "Can you feel the love tonight?" I mean, just come on.
Yeah.
How do you
he
not?
actually goes, "Here's the love. Can you feel it?
Can you feel the love?
Can you feel it?"
I will say in that introduction, I did go, "Oh, I haven't seen this Gerard Butler level of fitness in a while." As somebody who goes to all of his movies, I'm not saying he's in bad shape now, but yeah, he's now he's dad bod action hero.
He's dad bod action hero, and he's still charming.
Well, yeah, and
he's just not hitting the gym the way he used to have.
No, and he's just like, I don't need to anymore. I'll lean into being a dude in his 50s who's still, way bigger than I am, and obviously, even if he's not ripped, he still looks like he could kill a man with a punch. But no, the scene I was going to bring up, I just have written down here silly things in the movie, like, when she fights the guy by doing the Marine rifle drill.
Yes.
So stupid.
And cringy.
And that's it exactly. It's the kind of thing where it's like, who thought that was cool?
They thought it was clever, and it doesn't play at all.
No, it's so dumb. And they put in a little.
God, it's terrible.
And you're just like, what the?
Good call on that one.
That's Once again, most of my notes.
Please tell me you're also including Lara rides a shark.
Oh,
and then ends up on a submarine.
I will say,
all in the same scene.
When
she rides a shark to the surface, and then
they do a jump scare with the shark at first. You're like, a shark. And then
that jump scare made me think, did they do this in 3D? Was this released in 3D?
No. We're pre the 3D boom. Okay. So we're not, but it does have that vibe to it for sure. I think the Meg was in 3D though.
Oh, thank God. When those jaws,
when Jason Statham kicks that shark in the face, it's a sublime moment in cinema. We may have to do a Last to Be Curious about that.
What are you drinking there, pal?
I am drinking wild cherry and cream Pepsi.
I've been looking for that.
It's very good.
I have not been able to find it.
It's very good.
Okay, sorry, listeners.
Not a sponsor, by the way.
Go out and
we are soda connoisseurs and always in search of if there's a new flavor.
Connoisseurs?
Yeah, connoisseurs.
Connoisseurs.
Whatever. Continents.
That's okay. But you're absolutely right. When they release new exotic flavors that are out
Gotta
for
try
5
it.
months, whatever, we have to try them.
Gotta try them.
So I saw that can. All right, moving on.
Very
Sorry,
good.
everybody, I derailed.
Yeah, I just have ridiculous. I said I was just right. Oh no! So they set up the jump scare of the shark, and then when she cuts her own arm, I was going out loud. No, don't.
Yeah.
Don't. And then she rides a shark.
The thing is,
because
that
she's
you see it
unstoppable.
from 85 miles away.
Yep.
And just like you,
but I was begging them. Please
hoping,
don't.
Yeah.
Please
don't have her lure a shark in so she can ride it.
Yeah.
But the movie said, no. Hold my wild cherry and cream Pepsi.
Yeah.
And then they proceeded to give it to her.
By the way, the petrified...
it also doesn't play.
The petrified forest sequence was actually a reused James Bond set. They literally were like, hey, you going to tear that down? If you could just keep that up, actually, that'd be great for us.
Jesus.
Yeah, because I think that was from Die Another Day.
I think I'll Die.
Yeah.
But
that had just finished. Yeah. That had just finished filming when this was starting to film, I think. So, yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah, whatever. God, they shot this thing on 65 millimeter. It doesn't look good. Like the idea that they shot this in the wide, Lawrence of Arabia. This doesn't look good at all. I also want to talk about the big thing about they make a big deal in all the trivia about that wingsuit sequence is all real. Those are real people really doing this. But then I go, but it wasn't exciting at all. You just watch them in as wide a shot as possible, just sailing.
They just sail, and then they get to a certain level where they then break out the parachutes.
All I could think was, and maybe you thought this too, Matt Reeves crushed a wingsuit scene in the Batman.
He did, because for one thing, he made him look terrifying.
He made it look terrifying, and because his big thing was put the camera right on him as he's flying, and then suddenly we're with it. When you're just it looks like I'm watching a documentary about skydiving when they're just showing them.
The thing I like about what Reeves did with that was simply the implication that even someone as amazing as a Bruce Wayne,
It's one of the best scenes in that
aka
movie.
Batman.
Yeah.
Yep, but even he hasn't tested this enough, and it makes it even our superhero is like, oh shit, and
Yeah.
that I loved. This movie again makes her like Bond, infinitely capable.
Yep.
And there's no like the thing where they're in that little rocket plane, and she can pilot it perfectly.
The rocket plane is so unnecessary. So unnecessary.
And then when she's like going, he's like, but they'll find it. She goes, no, they won't, because she aims at a mountain and it. But I'm still sitting there going like, they're still tracking that thing, and that did not demolish it. It goes into pieces. They could still find that goddamn rocket plane. But anyway, one of the things that was over showy and show offy was her riding side saddle.
Holy God!
Like
for no reason. For no reason. And she's doing
it looks cool.
Yeah, but she's got the lever action rifle that she's shooting target, because she's always just doing the most insane training at the Croft estate.
I do like that the butler, as we mentioned before, her man Friday,
Hillary.
He's in charge of just keeping, the manor together, but occasionally he's also like her punching bag. And or sparring partner or dueling guy, because he's in that ninja outfit, and she's just wailing on him.
Oh my God, yeah!
God, what a terrible job!
I know, she just beats the shit out of him. By the way, do you recognize Hillary? Were you a Red Dwarf guy by any chance?
No, I have seen Red Dwarf. He's one of the guys.
He's Ace Rimmer on Red Dwarf. He's one of the main guys in all of Red Dwarf.
Now that you say that, yes.
I did not mention that last time, but I'm a big Red Dwarf
There is
guy.
limited Red Dwarf in my vocabulary.
You should fix that. It's a very good show.
I literally watched the first series just because I was curious, and it's funny, but it's very dated, and I didn't really...
Well, it's also a show that they keep bringing back, and so literally like they did a season 2020.
It has... a huge devoted
it's something I always talk about that I like that British TV does, that I guess we're starting to do a little bit, although we don't do it quite as well, is like this idea about shows never really end. It's just like, let's pick it up 10 years from now and see what everybody's up to.
As long as everybody signs off. Yeah,
but
that's
it doesn't.
It's
but
like,
the British ones,
are you doing a movie? No.
The British ones often don't feel as cash grabby on that, where it just does feel like, hey, we came up with another story and everybody likes doing this thing, as opposed to just going like, hey, remember this?
Yeah.
When you're doing Fuller House.
Oh, yeah.
That house was even fuller, believe it or not.
The thing is that even more people were in that house.
You couldn't.
How could I not tune in when they said, wait, there's more people in the house? I was like, nope, I'm there.
Yeah. The season where they had to build an add-on to the house to get even more people
in.
Thrilling.
Shit, man.
Thrilling.
Were you as blown away with that?
I was like, wow, this is next level television right here.
What's another like? Oh no, I heard about the reboot of Malcolm in the Middle thing that's coming, and all I could think was why.
Yeah, I hope it's good. They've got Cranston back. That was we'll see. I loved that show. I was such a big fan. I hope it
was great.
I hope it's good. Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about how this movie did, because as I said,
how did it do, John?
Well, as I said, $95 million budget. Not a disaster, all right? 160 worldwide.
Yeah, not a disaster.
But only 65 US though. It did I believe it opened in third place at the American box office. So
Wait,
hang on.
You have that?
What's that? Sorry, you cut out.
Do you have what it opened behind?
Let's see here. Yes, I do.
What was on top of that?
Bad Boys 2. Also see our Patreon for Bad Boys 2. Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one.
Man, forget about it.
Yeah, Curse of the Black Pearl. By the way, both Jerry Bruckheimer produced movies, so
can I say when I put this in Letterboxd,
good time to be Jerry.
When I rated it 1.5 stars.
And,
fair. Put it in Letterboxd. it ends up right next to League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And I was like, oh boy,
Oh
ow,
yeah,
what a
yeah.
gut punch!
Fuck.
What a
Oh,
gut
Jesus.
punch that time was.
That was bad news. Oh, sorry.
That was the one I was hoping.
It actually took fourth place. Sorry, because also in there, Spy Kids 3D, which is starting the 3D thing. Remember, that was sort of the novelty of that.
Oh, I certainly did watch it.
All the Spy Kids movies are generally, charming of sorts.
Yes,
but
charming of sorts.
Debuted in fourth place is not good.
Yikes.
That's
No,
not
that's
good.
not good.
Yeah, and like I said, it made 65 US, 160 worldwide. So, Brendan, I will ask you, of the top 200 movies of 2003, where did this land?
I'm not sure of the exact placement, but it left a smear. You can actually see from quite a distance away. No, of the top, how many?
200. And it made, once again, we're looking at worldwide, so it made 160.
Oh, we're looking at worldwide.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go 94.
Okay. 37th.
37th.
37th. It was outgrossed by the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, though, which was 28th. That movie made 179. Well, League is such a come down from, obviously, the source material being amazing and the movie being very bad.
Yeah.
I'll give you the top 5 of 2003 here.
Please do.
Only number 1, which made over $1 billion worldwide, no surprise here, Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King was the top grossing movie of the year. Finding
that was
Nemo.
A pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Oh, Finding Nemo was
Finding
all right.
Nemo, number 2. The Matrix Reloaded at number 3. Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, number 4, and Bruce Almighty at number 5. We're still in the Jim Carrey domination time.
I didn't see Bruce Almighty.
Oh, Bruce Almighty's fun. It's fun.
I think even with someone I love, and Jim Carrey has always amused me, but even then, if the project just doesn't look like it's going to be good, I don't go see it. Like, I never follow actors. We've had that discussion before.
Yeah.
It's like I look at each project and go, does that interest me? No? Okay, then I'm not going to go for Jim Carrey. I'm going to go for something that looks interesting.
I saw all of these movies in the theater. Yeah.
And you own them all on 4K. I know that you've got the 4K of Click, the Adam Sandler film. I know you've got that.
Click is okay.
You've got the 4K of Ladybugs, don't you?
Yeah. Oh,
you
yeah.
That?
Rodney at his finest. Hey man, I got to get this promotion. I just love that he's like 75, and I've really got to get this promotion because I'm getting married and starting a new life. For the 3 years you're going to be alive, Rodney? I
know. It's hilarious.
love Back to School, though. Back to School is very funny.
Back to School is very funny.
Yeah. So that's where that landed. And then some other ones that we enjoyed in the top 10, maybe number 9 was X2, X-Men United, which obviously I did see that.
Yes, I saw that many a time. I gave that a lot of my money. Now, here's the thing.
Very good. Very good, sir.
Since this is a IP squad,
yes,
you're talking video game movies.
I am.
I will say even the least good or well-made Tomb Raider game.
Yeah.
And let's go all the way back to the first one, which has its charms.
Yes.
Even the worst of the games is better than these two movies.
Agreed.
That's my wrap-up.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Plus, you get to be Lara, and you get to be the kick-ass person, or the person
that is
who
the
lets
thing.
her down time and again.
It is. This is the ongoing thing on this season, right? Is this idea about it is very hard to capture the experience of a video game because you're going from an active medium to a passive medium, and so it makes sense to me that there aren't very good. There aren't very many good video game movies.
It is so weird though because your big video games usually have very good stories.
Yep.
So you sit there going like, why is it so hard?
To
adapt that.
We've talked about this too. That the thing is, TV is doing it better, right? We have things like Last of Us. We have things like Fallout. They're doing
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal, very good. Ron Moore is adapting God of War right now for Amazon. You're like, that sounds good.
As long as the the prostitutes are left in, then we're good.
Oh, they'll be all over, baby.
Kratos will be getting some.
You better believe it. The Witcher, at least for a while, although that, of course, does have the books that the games are. So
yes,
that's kind of.
Anytime people complain about it being a bad adaptation of the games, what I love is that Netflix goes, we're adapting the books.
Yeah.
And then the people who love the books are like, hey, that's not. And they're like, we have to cater to some people who play the games.
And
they've got an easy out for anyone who complains.
Except for now, they don't have the easy out because they're like, hey, you lost Henry Cavill. And they're like, we did.
Yeah. And that guy.
We did. That guy made that show. That guy was the main reason I was watching.
He was the reason.
Even the weaker parts of it, you're like, that performance.
Buddy, the minstrel.
I mean, no, everybody was good in it, but it was like the only thing keeping me watching was that Cavill is just riveting.
I'd rather just go back and play the games.
Yeah, that guy, I'll see anything that guy's in too.
Cavill, he's a prince among men.
Oh, he's the best. He's just the best.
Wrapping up, watch these.
Wrapping up, let me give you some highs and lows before we get out of here.
Oh, the highs and lows.
Of course. This
and
comes
I'm
to
not
us.
Going to do the high and lowest joke that my brother always does.
No, that's Robin's territory. We'll get him back on.
That's Robin's territory.
Don't worry, folks. There will be another Jones Boys season coming in the near future.
Oh, what are you going to make Robin? Oh, well, we'll talk.
We'll talk about it off mic. I can't announce it just yet. It's secrets. We're in negotiations. Robin is, by the way, Robin's agents are really raking us over the coals. Secrets. All right. This comes to us from Jexon. Not Jackson from the Star Wars.
I thought he named himself after the Green Rabbit.
No, that's Jackson. This is Jexon. Also,
all right, I'll take
good you mentioned that because make sure you're listening to May the Panel Be With You also on the Punch of
Snap.
Oh, always plug in. All right.
Sideways promotion.
Title of the review. I like this title. Raiders of the Lost Ark. ... I mean box. Pointless sequel to the not-so-successful first film. The story is basically a rehash of the original with slightly less supernatural stuff but more unnecessary violence. Interesting. I would actually say it has more at least weirder supernatural stuff, I would say.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of the budget showing, when they end up in the between place, the shadow petrified forest, it really does become just strobe lights. And I was embarrassed for them too.
It did.
Again,
it did.
Like,
at one point, it's like
a Halloween night.
The climax is just in a rave.
Yeah. Not good.
Not good at all. Okay. Sorry. The plot involving a globe that shows the location of Pandora's box is just an excuse to go from one action scene to the next. There are a lot of plot holes, though. Growling sharks, secret labs located in the middle of a shopping mall.
I forgot it makes noise.
Yeah, it did.
Jesus God.
The question of why anyone would want to open Pandora's box, since it brings misfortune to those who do. I will say, actually, that's a fair point. Not only is Pandora's box sort of like a metaphorical fable thing, they never deal with what the story of Pandora's box is about, really.
They do. She does the heavy lifting where she goes, yes, but really, it wasn't all the whatever stuff that was released. That's the myth. But within it,
it did do that classic thing of like, oh, that's what people. We've seen this a lot on Meet the Monsters.
Yes.
Oh, that's what people say.
Yeah, but still, they explain it terribly, and you're still left going like, that's just magical MacGuffin nonsense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's enough. All right, yeah. And the fact that nobody knows the location of said box, except, of course, an entire tribe living next door to it. The first film was pretty bad, but compared to this disaster, it was better in all departments. Jan de Bont is obviously just a 1.5 hit wonder. Twister is still pretty good. I agree with that. He's a 1.5. Twister's not bad. Speed's a classic. Twister's all right. And he fails to do anything exciting with Cradle of Life. It's tired dialogue, cliched characters, boring action pieces, and a slow pace where nothing really happens. Angelina Jolie was by far the best thing with the original, but here too she lacks any sense of being happy to be back. Parentheses, read contractual obligation. There are 2 minutes or so at the very end that actually are quite good and gives Jolie a chance to prove that given the right material, she's a really good actress, worth better than crap like this. 1 out of 10 stars. I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like the end of the movie when she has to shoot Gerard Butler is Like, oh, that is the very beginning of something approaching a character with an arc. Like,
Yep.
yeah. All right. This comes to us from somebody you can definitely trust based on this name. Hunky Aries.
Wait. How do they spell hunky?
H-U-N-K-Y.
Because that is me.
Oh, yeah.
I always go by Hunky Aries.
There you go. This is you saying the quite a bit different opinion than you've shared for the last hour plus on this episode. Title of the review: After being hugely disappointed by the first, here's what I thought of the second. I went into this film with mixed feelings. On one hand, I wanted to be more excited. Or I wanted to be excited, especially after seeing the trailers. But then I had seen the trailers for the first Tomb Raider movie, and boy, had I been disappointed. So I went into this movie with restrained excitement. However, from the moment this film began, it was no longer restrained excitement, but pure hair-raising excitement. The action in this movie was absolute eye candy, and one of those few instances where it seemed necessary within the narrative.
Oh my god!
I can't get through that sentence. What are you talking about?
You broke John.
What?
Hunky Aries, you broke him.
These action set pieces really push the story forward. You know, this is really this is when filmmakers talk about, and I agree, the best action movies tell narrative through action. This movie doesn't do that at all, not even remotely. Angelina Jolie was sensational. She gave personality to Lara. She gave attitude. I'll give him. She gave attitude to Lara.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's really, once again, on the script, not on her. Lara Croft can now be put in the... Oh, boy. Lara Croft can now be put in the same league as James Bond or Indiana Jones.
Whoa.
No, sir. I wish I could say that. Yeah, I wish I could say that.
I wish I could say that.
Yeah,
That's not me going like, it's a boys' club.
No, I am rooting for this character,
should
man.
Be amongst them. She's just
Every time they make a new Lara Croft thing, I'm like, hopefully this is the thing that puts her in that lexicon. Because the potential is there. All right. I love the little... Oh, this guy's just in love with Angelina Jolie, right? I love the little laugh she had, and she really was amazing when she performed her stunts. The English accent was perfect, too. The character Terry Sheridan was great, and the chemistry between him and Lara was electrifying. The plot was tight and understandable, unlike the first... In what world? This thing is near impossible. It's such gobbledygook.
Is this dated the week it came out?
Yeah, it's pretty close.
PR department?
It's pretty close to when it came out. Let's say that.
This feels like a plan.
And here we go. There is no. This is a classic defending of a bad movie. This is not artistic or a movie trying to be clever. It is pure entertainment. It delivers the action, but is three-dimensional because of the characters and the emotion. It moves along.
It's three-dimensional because these people exist in space-time.
They are played by actual living people.
You can track around them and see all sides.
It moves along and doesn't get boring. I would actually say it gets boring in several places, but that's just me.
It does.
Yeah, fans of the game will be pleased. You're talking to two right now who aren't because
the middle of the damn movie is just running around office parks in Saigon.
Because there are many scenes that closely resemble the game, especially the way Lara moves. What?
Well, she does do some leapy, climby.
I guess, but not in a just in a generic action hero way. Not in like that's a Lara Croft move, you know.
No,
yeah.
But she doesn't really have a signature or anything. Other
no,
than
I guess
she
that's
leaps
yeah.
And she clings to ledges.
Yeah, she does. I don't think she does in this movie at any point though.
Not really.
I really recommend this film and hope they make a third. 10 out of 10 stars.
Should we write back to that person? And go.
Yeah.
It's many years later.
Yeah.
We apologize. You didn't get your third.
Sorry. Yeah. I think this is one of those that feels like everyone, especially Angelina Jolie, agreed. Like, yeah, no, right. Like, we're done, right?
Right.
Yeah. I do want to check in though. I forgot to do. I should have done this earlier. We got to check in with our old friend Raj, though, right? What did Raj think?
I bet he was like, no one's looked better in a wetsuit.
Let me read just the opening. Here's just the opening. Not everybody could play Lara Croft. Not everybody would want to, but that's another matter. Rich, humorless, obviously competent, ambiguous about romance, stacked. She emerges in Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, Cradle of Life, as once again a heroine too busy saving the world to trouble herself with tomb raiding. In fact, she isn't really raider at all. The word suggests criminal activities and perhaps is only intended to remind us of Raiders of the Lost Ark and such. But anyway, he goes on to talk about he loved it.
I just can't imagine.
Yeah.
And again, Roger was one of the greats, but at the same time, I'm sitting there going, I can't imagine anyone today, any actual film critic saying stacked.
I know.
I mean, you could be referring to the video game character who, of course, the joke was always
comically,
they
right?
just made her a wet dream, impossible figured woman.
Yeah, nobody has those.
Who you actually play as and kill people and find treasures.
Yeah.
So yeah, the character's stacked, but he's talking about Angelina.
Get ready. Get ready though for a little bit more.
I'm ready. All right, hold on, I'm ready.
He goes through the plot, right? And then he says, I describe these details only because this kind of story amuses me and always has. Ever since those long ago days when I curled up on the sofa with H. Rider Haggard she.
Oh, there you go.
Adventures involving the ancient, the occult, and the exotic are much superior to those involving modern cars and guns and cops.
Yet you got a lot of those in this movie, Roger.
Yeah. In a summer where the special effects of movies have grown steadily more repetitive and dreary, Cradle of Life uses imagination and exciting locations to give the movie
this movie.
to give the movie the same kind of pulp adventure feelings we get from the Indiana Jones films.
It's trying for it.
Yeah. Not everybody, I observed, can play Lara Croft. Angelina Jolie can. With a straight face, a dry wit, a fierce resolve, and a British accent, which adds a certain style to the enterprise. She's all class.
The character's British.
She's all class.
Well, look.
He finishes this is insane. This is a better movie than the first one. More assured and more entertaining.
Nope.
Yep. Roger lost his mind. Yeah.
By
the way, he's still totally well at this point. This is before any of the disease or anything. This is a totally healthy Roger Ebert.
I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
He is very susceptible to hypnotism by bosom.
He really was.
Honestly,
it is consistent throughout his reviews.
If there's a hot woman in the lead, that automatically adds 2 stars to whatever he was.
It does feel like that. Yeah. Richard, I'm giving this 3 thumbs up.
You just can't see the thing.
Yeah.
You don't want to see.
It's the line in The Producers, though we're sitting down, please know we're giving you a standing ovation. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life. This one is not worth your time at all. But will next week's movie be worth it? Brendan, of course, you'll be back when we get back to Tomb Raider to talk about the reboot of the reboot. Yeah. So that you'll consistently be our Tomb Raider or / adventure guy, because I think I'm going to bring you on.
I haven't seen it, so I look forward to it.
I think we're going to also bring you on for Uncharted, which I don't know if you've played those games, but
I actually bought one that was on sale, and I think it's the last of the Nathan Drake
Thief's
ones.
End, Uncharted 4 Thief's End.
Yes.
Yeah, very good.
And I didn't finish it, but it's delightful. Mm-hmm. I think I just got caught up in another game.
Yeah, but
I liked it.
I'm going to keep you as the adventure guy on the show.
I'm the adventure guy. I'm ready for it.
And that does have Spider-Man. But next week, we're leaving Earth. We're heading to Mars to battle some demons with a big fucking gun.
You guys are doing Doom.
It's time for Doom. Mike Gargani will be back with us for Doom, a movie that teenage Mike Gargani and I definitely saw in the theater together, of course. We went and saw Doom. I don't remember having super positive feelings about it. I think he might have liked it. You did
buy the popcorn thing, right? That was just Dwayne Johnson's head and neck.
Yeah. By the way, on paper, I should love this movie because it's Dwayne Johnson and Carl Urban shooting monsters on Mars. This should be my favorite movie on paper, but
it's garbage.
I don't remember liking it, and I remember particularly, of course, the big thing about it is the 15-minute sequence that's in first person that I feel like.
Yes.
I'll say this now, and we'll get into it when I watch it again.
Does have the ammo counter on screen?
It's the gun.
Counter.
Yeah, it's the whole thing, and I think that is exactly the wrong approach to video game movies.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Again, if you're holding the controller and controlling Dwayne The Rock Johnson,
Yeah.
that's a different story. But
I will
you're
say,
not.
it has Rosamund Pike in it, so we'll see if that gets Roger to like it a little more.
There are not many people who could play unnamed female character from Doom.
Yeah, generic lady scientist who's pretty
Yes,
but
there you
knows
go.
stuff.
Well, I'm not here for that one.
No,
So good luck,
well,
gentlemen.
Yeah, exactly. As we continue our full team coverage of the video, full team coverage. All right, as I've been, this is the calling all cars season to keep with our
Nice.
investigation.
Nice.
Anyway, of course, make sure to check if you do want to hear Brendan and I talking about other franchises and such. You can do that on our Patreon page with our series, The Last to Be Curious, where Brendan is introduced to all kinds of different franchises. Mostly that involve.
It is a big chunk of movies that you have introduced me.
Yeah,
to.
most of them involve.
Me to watch.
Yeah, most of them involve muscular men wielding guns and such.
Yeah.
So head over there. That's patreon.com/punchup, that's punchupent. Of course, you can hear Brendan and I every week on Campbell and Jones Meet the Monsters. We chart the cinematic legacy of the monsters, and we'll throw a shout out to your other podcast as well, Brendan. Prodigious Saps. Which what is the pitch for that show? You guys are nominally a Superman podcast.
We are nominally a Superman podcast. That is something that my friend Chad and I have always bonded over, is our love of that particular character. But we also just catch up on stuff, and we talk about shows we like. I mean, we're probably the only people in the world who covered that. And now I can't even remember the name of it, but I liked it.
Oh, Hello
There
Tomorrow.
was one that was like, what?
Hello Tomorrow, the Billy Crudup show.
Hello Tomorrow. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yes,
I remember you guys really
I was like, that's not
enjoying that.
But yeah, so we talk about whatever, but it's Superman centric, and this being the year of a new Superman movie, it's a lot of that.
Yeah, it's Superman and some other stuff.
And some other stuff. Please come enjoy.
Yeah.
And look at my face, because you don't get to
that's
see
a
it
video
here.
podcast.
John's looking at it.
That's a video
sorry.
podcast. Yeah.
Sorry, John.
It's all right.
I'm wearing the hat because haven't showered. Haven't showered yet today.
I always wear the hat when I'm on, but that's just because what the headband does to my hair.
Yeah.
So that's gonna do it. Until next week, the case file is closed.